Is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch the final entry into the Smash Bros. Franchise? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, J.Bandicoot here with a new type of video that I hope you enjoy. I've been watching a lot of videos recently talking about possibilities for new characters in Smash Bros, and it got me thinking, how thin is the window of opportunity for new characters to be introduced? First, I'd like to give credit to Keith Ballard for the background footage you're seeing. You can find a link to his channel in the description below. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. At the time of this video's production, there's confirmed to be only 2 more DLC characters revealed to be a part of the Fighter's Pass, which is basically a ticket to receive all future DLC for free. So that's our window, 2 characters. In theory, Nintendo could push past that if they really wanted to, but I would assume that they already have a business model for Smash Ultimate in place that they don't want to disturb. It really sucks that there are only 2 slots left available, especially when there are a million different characters that people would like to see in Smash. You've got Conker, Chrono, Impa, Crystal, and Crash Bandicoot, just to name a few. By the way, I'll also be going over Crash's chances in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So the amount of characters we could have is virtually limitless, but there are only 2 character slots left. This began to beg the question in my mind, is this the last Smash Brothers? Is this going to be the last chance for any of these characters to challenge the best of what Nintendo, Konami, Sega, and more have to offer in virtual combat fisticuffs? Well, let's go over the evidence. Masahiro Sakurai, the director and game designer of Super Smash Bros., has literally given everything he has to this series. In previous interviews, he's mentioned physical limitations and pain that he suffered dating all the way back to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and these symptoms have only intensified since then. He has spoken that he has literally left every fiber of his physical being in these games, and to me, not only does that spell disaster for Smash, but it also provides me with an unlimited amount of respect for Sakurai. Despite his declining health, Sakurai has continued to work on and develop these games with the fans in mind. His dedication to this property speaks volumes, and when you consider what the story mode in Smash Ultimate means, you really start to get a point of view from Sakurai himself. I'm not going to go into full detail here, you can find that in another video, but in essence, what the final sequence in the Smash Ultimate story mode means is Sakurai becoming finished with the corporate greed that has enveloped he and this series, and setting the characters themselves free, unchained from the binds of corporate monotony and the lust of greed, which is a huge indication that Sakurai is now just finished with Smash Bros. Sakurai has also gone on record speaking about every Smash game since Brawl, saying that it would be the last game in the series, and that really's never come to fruition, obviously, because we now have Smash Ultimate, 2 games apart from Smash Brawl. The reason being for this is that Nintendo and its board of directors wants to keep the Smash property alive due to its lucrative and definitive status among the gaming industry. It's just too big of an IP to give up on. They can't keep going with the IP, however, if Sakurai decides to retire or leave the company, as he truly is the figurehead of the Smash IP. We also have to take into account the genuinely massive roster for Smash Ultimate, and take into account the legalities of having such a huge roster. Most of the roster is really no problem legally due to them being strictly owned by Nintendo. You've got Mario, Luigi, Zelda, Link, Kirby, all of these characters are examples of this. However, there are many other characters such as Solid Snake, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and Little Mac that Nintendo don't own the exclusive rights to, and therefore have to go through the legalities of acquiring the license and approval to use them in their game. This is a painstaking and arduous process in and of itself, and if one of these companies declines the use of that character, Nintendo's just out of luck regarding their use of them in the game. This also presents a problem in that any downgrade from the roster, no matter how small, would be widely considered to be a downgrade from Ultimate, as the ability to use these characters to fight wouldn't exist in a newer title. While yearly sports titles like NBA 2K, WWE 2K, and Madden all have rosters that change per season, and many fans don't really particularly mind with athletes that are retired being excluded from those games, it could definitely be a bigger issue in Smash, just due to the fact that every character on this roster is beloved. Nintendo could really end up with a double-edged sword here. So taking all of these facts into consideration, it certainly does look like Smash Ultimate will indeed be the final entry into the Smash franchise, unless something happens to the game in terms of Nintendo as a company. These could be things such as Sakurai giving his blessing for someone else to take the helm, Nintendo deciding to drop many third-party characters in efforts to collect new third-party as well as more original characters on the roster, or an entirely new effort to cooperate with other publishers and developers on a new fighting title. These could all be possibilities for the future of Smash Bros. Many fans believe, though, that Smash Ultimate will receive ports to new consoles, with more DLC characters as part of that port, and I can definitely see both sides of that argument. The port certainly wouldn't do as well as a full-fledged new title in terms of revenue, and not many people would purchase it for a new console when they have it already on their old one. However, I can totally see the Smash Bros. Fanbase remaining dedicated enough to do those things. Super Smash Bros. Melee, for example, is still a popular competitive game after nearly 20 years have passed since its release, and the Smash community is always looking for new characters to be added to the game. So this does seem like a slightly viable option for Nintendo to take if they really cannot create a new Smash title from the ground up. It truly is a shame, though, that limitations within the video game industry, such as copyright and interest conflicts, prohibit the free use of these kinds of characters. I completely understand copyright is a necessity in the world we live in, but the length people can take with copyright is filled with greed and the what's in it for me mentality, giving them complete control over a character that is beloved by many. Wouldn't it have been amazing to see every single character you could have ever dreamed of in a fighting game like this? And isn't it terrible that a game like that could never come to fruition with the way the laws and the societal structures in place function in this society? That, my friends, is the real tragedy here. But thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more content like this. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a Crash Bandicoot script to write, so I'm just gonna go down to Insanity Beach, lay down next to Mr. Bandicoot over there, and just chill out. I wish my life were that easy. See you guys around.